Check, check. 1, 2. Hello everyone, I'm Big T. I'm from Borroloola, and this song is called Grateful. Feel free to clap along, and yeah, hope you enjoy. From the start to the finish, my friend, from the beginning to the end, repping from the hardest, no easy task. Do what you gotta do and it'll last. Keep moving forward, never looking back into the past, cause it will just be a distraction, attacking your mental action. If you find some help for yourself, then you'll feel the satisfaction. Coming back in, then you'll make things happen. Now I got everybody head bobbing along to my song. This is a young man from BLA, aka Borroloola. I got something to say. Everything is going good, gotta find a way to thank God, so I pray for the food on my plate every night and day, and for the warm bed and the roof that's over my head. I said what I said, yes I have dreams, I'm not ashamed. Don't paint us with the same brush, we are not the ones to blame. We are here to make a change that's happening around us, cause the bad vibe is surrounding us, trying to brainwash all of us. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. I remember I was hungry cause my family was always struggling and budgeting for money. Always broke, always used to hope my family would stop wasting money on harmful substances like alcohol and smoke show. My mom would always tell me not to do that, to do this as a kid. Now look on me now, standing in front of the crowd saying the words out loud. That my family must be really proud of what a man I've become. Especially dad and mom, that they had a son that grew up not a screw up, that had fun even though we didn't have none. Sometimes it be a hassle, but kids gotta be careful. Most of the nights our plates wasn't that full, but I was always grateful to get food, to stop the rumbling in my stomach. At least it was something so better than nothing to stop your fussing. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Showing love to my supporters and fans, because I know how it feels to be ignored and embarrassed. After all, sharing is caring. From the darkness I'm emerging, searching for the lonely and broken, healing the ones that be hurting, trying to seek attention, trying to seek affection. That's your only intentions, it's the only interaction with the world that we living in. Some say that rapping comes naturally, while others rap casually. They don't know I'm struggling, but I'ma keep hustling. As long as I'm grinding, my heart gon' keep shining. Cry later, don't forget to keep laughing, so I can keep this comforting songs coming. You know Big T, keep it PG, ain't no need for cussing, I will never stop loving. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, I will hold it to the end. Grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for my family, grateful for my friends, grateful for the love, and I will hold it to the end. Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome back to Yirara.
Good afternoon and welcome to Wednesday's Maths for Year 7 and 8. Today I'm working with
Mr. Max.
Hi Mr. Max.
Hi Miss Pam.
Together today we're going to teach you about skip counting backwards and forwards. We're going to be using the whiteboard a lot more today, and we'll be referring to your worksheets in your work booklet. We won't have any videos to watch, but we do have a few slides that we're going to show you how that works on the whiteboard and how to go counting backwards, okay? Because counting backwards is probably as important as counting forwards, so it's adding and subtracting, okay, to help you with your equations in your workbook. Now, Mr. Max is going to show you on our essential assessment that we left off with yesterday. Have we got a slide? Mm-hmm. Our slideshow's not showing. Huh? Okay, so counting backwards and forwards. We'll demonstrate with some counters and money, but Mr. Max firstly is just going to show you the sheet that we left off with yesterday. Okay.
So yesterday we did the sheet titled Describe Number Patterns Using Skip Counting. And we did a few of the questions, but just to recap, what we wanted to do was find the pattern and use that pattern to find the next ones. So for example, in this question we had numbers and we were adding 2 to each number before it. In this one we were adding 5. I'm sure you figured out the rest of them yourselves. Here we've used shapes instead of numbers, so we had 3 dots, 4 dots, 5 dots, 6 dots, 7 dots, and so on. And here we've got the dots, but we want to find the numbers. So we see that there's 8 dots here, 12 dots here, and going up by 4. Add 4 to 16 makes 20. Add 4, 24. And in this final one, we are finding, we've got numbers and we want to find the pattern. We're going down by 7s, as you can see, 45 to 38. Take away 7 goes to 31, and so on. So that's what we did yesterday.
Okay, to the next slide. Learning from the board. So today it's like real class, okay? We're going to move over to the whiteboard now, and Mr. Max is going to skip count or count along the number line. Firstly, to show you 54 plus 12. So looking over here at Mr. Max now, the first equation says 54 plus 12. But it's also the same as saying 54 plus 6 plus 6, because 6 plus 6 equals?
12.
Exactly.
And so we'll show you in both ways. We'll show you using the number line and also on the times tables as well. Okay,
so can you show us how you skip count on the first one for us, please, Mr. Max?
Okay, so we are skip counting by 2s. So we start at 54, that's our starting point, and we go 54 plus 2 is 56.
Right.
Then 56 plus 2 is 58.
Okay.
58 plus 2 is 60.
How many have we got so far?
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6, see?
Makes
54
12.
plus 6, very good.
So we've got to skip 3 more times. So we've got 60 plus 2 is 62. 62 plus 2 is 64. And 64 plus 2 is 66.
Wow.
And as you can see, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, all of them makes 12. And we've got our answer.
So how many 2s do we have altogether? We have 6 times 2, which is the same as saying 2 times 6 up there at the top. And the answer is 66. Very good.
Thank you.
All right. Now, Mr. Max will just quickly come back to your times table sheet that you would have completed by now, hopefully in your workbooks. Now, if you don't have it complete, don't worry. You'll get time to do that over the weekend and catch up. So we would like you to just have a look now at the patterns in 2s, just to remind you how your times table can help you to add numbers.
So you can see we've got 54 here. We've started with 54 on the board and we're adding 12. But we have to remember that 12 is actually 6 plus 6. And we've got here the 6 times table. So we've got 54, we're adding 6, we go to 60. And we add another 6, which makes a total of 12, and we get to 66. And so here we have the same answer as we got using the number line, 66. One way using the timetable, one way using a number line.
It's a very good way to check to see if you've got the right answers, isn't it?
Definitely.
Excellent. Now let's try the next one, Mr. Max. It looks to me like it's a subtraction or minus, which means taking away the numbers. So we're counting backwards. Okay, it's 35 minus 15.
Okay.
Oh, but hang on, Mr. Max. Our number line is going in 5s. It's going
That's
5,
right.
10, 15, 20. So what do we do?
What do we do? Well, we start at 35. This is where we are beginning.
Okay.
And we go down by 5s. And we have to go, there's 3 groups of 5, which makes 15.
Okay.
So we go like this. 35 take away 5 is 30. Then 30 take away 5 is 25.
Okay.
And then 25 take away 20, take away 5 that is 20. As you can see, there are 3 skips. Each skip is down by 5. And 5 times 3 is 15.
Ah, see how easy that is? It's 20. The answer's 20. So 35 take away 15 equals 20. Well done, Mr. Max. Great. Can we show the students one example of takeaway on our workbooklet sheet, on the big sheet?
Okay, so have a look here. We are looking at example E. So in example E, we have a pattern and it goes 20, 17, 14.
Oh.
What do you think that's going down by, Ms. Pam?
Oh, let me think backwards.
You better think quickly.
We go 20, 19, 18, 17.
What's the difference?
4, Mr. Max. Is it 4?
Sure? You sure, Miss Pam?
19, 18, 17. 3.
3.
Is it 3? Then what's the next number?
14.
16, 15, 14. It's 3, isn't it?
Right, it's 3. So if we want to complete the pattern, we have 14. We need to take 3 away. So down by 3, it goes to 11. Down by another 3 goes to 8. And then 8 take away 3 is 5. And that's our pattern. Try some of those yourself.
Guess what, Mr. Max? The next one on our number line is taking away 3.
There you
67
go.
minus 3.
There you go.
Let's have a look at how that works. 67.
So we start at 67 and we're going down by ones, right?
That's right.
Going down by ones. So we count down by 1,
66.
66, down by another one,
65.
65, and down by the last one, 64.
64.
So you can see that minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, all in all going down by 3.
Right. See, that's not so hard after all, is it? That makes a lot of sense. So 67 take away 3 equals 64. Let's try the next one together on the board. One more to do.
So we have 36, we need to take away 6, and we're going down by 2s.
Ah, counting in 2s again.
So we start at 36, we one skip down, take away 2, we get to 34. Another skip down, take away 2, we get to 32. And finally, a third skip down by 2, we get to 30. There we've got 3 groups of 2 equals 6, and this is our answer.
It's a little bit like that one at the top, isn't it, Mr. Max, where we went up in 2s, we were adding 2 every time, and this time we're just going backwards, taking the 2s away. I'd like to show how it works with some money, Mr. Max. I have $200 here that you lent me yesterday, and you tell me this morning you want 50.
Yeah, I'd like more, but I'll be happy with 50.
So Mr. Max wants to take 50 away from my $200. Should I give it to him?
Yeah.
What do you want to buy with that, Mr. Max? That's a lot of money. Oh, I was liking having all of this money here. 50, 50, 50 and 50. 4 of them makes 200. That's 4 5s are 20 with an extra 0. Remember? The place value, we're adding an extra 0. So Mr. Max wants 50. So I'm minusing 50 or taking away 50. And I'll give it back to Mr. Max, and I have left 150. And it's the same as saying 20 take away 5 is 15 with the extra 0. Okay? So that's how your times table will help you to figure that one. All right, let's go back to our workbooks, and then we're going to just do a little bit more demonstrating with our counters. And we're going to leave you a lot more work to do all by yourself.
Okay, so we've got our counters here. Here are our counters, using these ones.
Yeah, great.
So, for example, we have got this addition one. Shall we do that one?
Okay, let's start there.
Okay.
We'll just do one, shall we?
Yeah, okay. So we start with 12. And we have to have a look at it. What's it going up by? So you've got 16 and 18. What's the difference between those two, Miss Pam?
Oh, I think just guessing 16 and 18, there's one in between which is 17, so we'll be going up 2.
That's
Am I right?
Going up by 2. So if we have 12, and we'll put them in groups of 2, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 10, 12. Then we need to add 2 because that's the pattern. The pattern is going up by 2.
Okay,
So we've got 2 more here,
right.
and we add them on, and we get 14, don't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Or
Okay.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14.
Excellent. Now, some of you back home may be able to get a hold of one of these fun little gadgets. There may be a builder around that you could borrow one off. There may be one at your shop in the community. And there may even be rulers, like we have on the board here. This one's 1 metre long. But like you use at school, the short rulers, the little wooden rulers that go to 30 centimetres. This is another way that you can use skip counting in real life on your tape measure. And on here you can see that it goes up in 10 centimetres at a time and then broken up into little millimetres. And in between, you can break it up into 5. So if you have a close look, Mr. Max, can you hold that one 1.5 metres away?
Let's see.
Okay. Now, well, let's just hold it on our line down here, Mr. Max. And if I put the 10 there and I count to 20, there's 20 there, then 30, 40, 50. So we're counting, group counting along the tape, and we can measure things with this tape. Now, I know if you were in my class last year, we had a lot of fun with these around the classroom. They're a great way to learn your numbers, counting forward and then coming back. So if I have a door that is that wide, Mr. Max, and it's too big for the doorway, I'd have to take some numbers off and cut it the right size, okay?
Definitely.
So I'd have to trim it and I'd have to measure it accurately, all right? So if you can get a hold of something to measure with back home, have a little practice with that too. All right, I think we're covered everything we want to do for the day. Is that it? All finished? That's all, folks. Thank you for joining in again this lovely sunny Wednesday. It's nice and hot down here in Alice Springs, and I hope you're all doing great up there, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
welcome to Integrated Learning, week number 3 in term 1 on Yirara2U. And I'm doing the lesson today with
Mr. Keegan. How you going?
I hope you're all joining in out there, and I hope the weather's fine where you are. We're just going to first of all recap on what we've done this week. It's only Wednesday, but we have talked a lot about flora and fauna. We talked about the difference between flowers and animals and all of the unique things that make Australia so amazing compared to other countries, of course. And today our focus is going to be more about the Australian flag and emblems of Australia. So we understand how that flora and fauna is used in the flags and emblems around Australian states and the entire country. So Mr. Keegan's just going to look at the worksheet that we left you with yesterday, and we'll go over a couple more of those questions in case you're stuck and you're not understanding the task. We'll just go over that first before we move on and look more deeply into the animals and plants of the emblems and flags.
These are the questions that we filled out yesterday. What were the animals on the New South Wales state emblem? There was 2. One was a lion and one was a kangaroo. And we found out today what the lion was. We'll get to that soon. And then the other question that we answered was which plant on the Victoria state emblem represents peace? And we said that that was the fern.
Now there's a slide there that explains Miss Pam's question. It says, Miss Pam asked the question, why is there a lion in New South Wales emblem? Could anybody else figure it out? I had to look on good old Google, and I found that the lion in the south is taken from the 3 golden lions on the red field of arms in England. So England has an emblem that uses a lion, and it's used on different emblems in England, but it symbolises both sovereignty of New South Wales and the offspring of an old country, because we are still under, what do we call that? We're still under the English Constitution.
Yep.
Yeah, the Commonwealth. That's why we're called the Commonwealth of Australia. So the writing underneath though is funny letters, and it doesn't make any sense to us. It's actually in the language Latin, and it means newly risen, how brightly you shine, which is very nice, I think, on our Australian emblem there, on New South Wales emblem. So that's a little bit of information for you from my question yesterday. Now the next slide talks a little bit more about the Northern Territory emblem. It's a coat of arms. It's symbolic of the people, history and landscape of Northern Territory. It has floral and fauna in the emblem. It has the Strait desert rose. It has 2 red kangaroos and a wedge-tailed eagle. Each of these things are significant in their own way. The kangaroo holds a shield decorated by Aboriginal motifs in one hand, and the shells found on the coastline are in the other. In the centre of the shield is an X-ray drawing of a woman, as seen in rock art in Arnhem Land. The design on either side symbolises campsites joined by path markings of Central Australian Aboriginal people, which I think is a really nice thing, and I'm glad they put that in the Northern Territory emblem. The eagle holds an Aboriginal Jirunga, I hope I say that right, Jirunga stone that rests on the helmet. The helmet is a reminder of the Northern Territory's war history. So there's just some extra information there for those of you who had no idea what was in the emblem. Now we're going to talk more about the Australian national flag. And there's been lots and lots of talk about the flag being changed to include some more interesting features. At the moment though, we're going to understand what it's made up of and how that came to be. So Mr. Keegan's going to read out of your work booklet the page that's called the Australian national flag. So if you turn to that page, you'll be able to follow Mr. Keegan when he talks.
The Australian national flag has many symbols. The symbols have 3 elements on a blue background, and the Union Jack, the Commonwealth Star and the Southern Cross. The Union Jack or flag represents Australia's history of British settlement. The Union flag consists of 3 crosses of St. George, St. Andrew and St. Patrick, and signifies the principles and ideals on which Australia was founded. The Commonwealth Star, the large 7-pointed white star, is also referred to as the Federation Star. It commemorates the union of the separate Australian colonies on 1st of January 1901. There is 1 point to represent each of the 6 states of Australia, and the 7th point represents the federal territories of Australia. The Southern Cross is a constellation which can only be seen in the southern hemisphere, which is Australia. It represents Australia's geographical location and has been a symbol of importance to both European explorers and settlers and to the Indigenous people of Australia. Following the Federation of Australia on 1st of January 1901, Prime Minister Sir Edmund Barton announced an international competition to design a new flag for the new nation. The competition attracted 32,823 entries. 5 nearly identical entries were awarded first prize, with their design sharing the £200 prize money. The flag was first publicly displayed on 3rd of September 1901.
Wow. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the Aboriginal flag. I'm sure you're all familiar with this flag, and I think it's a beautiful flag. It represents Indigenous Australian peoples. The red representing the soil, the yellow circle representing the sun, and the black represents Aboriginal people. The next slide shows us a flag that I wasn't really sure what that bit in the middle meant, and I looked it up and we found some really interesting information. Some of you are familiar with this flag too. It's a Torres Strait Islander flag designed by the late Bernard Namok. The colours of the flag represent Torres Strait Islander peoples' connection to the land, sea and the sky. And the flag was a winning entry in a design competition all the way back in 1992. In 1995, the Torres Strait Islander flag was recognised by the Australian government as an official flag. It took them a while, didn't it? But under the Flags Act of 1953. It also represents, you can see from the blue, that's the ocean, the green is the land, the black are the Torres Strait Islander peoples. The white shape in the middle there is headdress, and of course the star has its own features. Now, Mr. Keegan's going to just give us a little look at all of our tasks that we need to be finished by the end of week 3. And some of you might have even got a head start on them. Some of you might not have started yet, but that's okay. We'll go through them one at a time and explain what you need to do yourself at home.
We've got a few fun tasks to start off with today. This is all about the Northern Territory, this page. We're going to colour in the flag of the Northern Territory. I'm sure you've seen this before. We have ochre on it. We have the Southern Cross here. We have the Sturt Desert Rose. Next is colour in the Northern Territory coat of arms, which you can see just here, also in your booklet at home. The next is colour the Northern Territory on the map of Australia. I'm not sure which one it is. Well, I'm not going to tell you at least. Colour the floral emblem of the Northern Territory rose. And then the next task we have is a crossword. I'll read out the first across and see if I can work out the answer. Name the Australian city where the Australian of the Year awards are announced. And that's one across, which means going across that way. I have no idea, so I'm not going to tell you.
I don't even know the answer to that one. We might have to Google that one. If you can find the answer to that, check it out on your iPads, computers, on your phone, or ask somebody in community who might know the answer to that.
And the last task that we have for the day is read the information sheet about the Australian national flag, which is what we read earlier, and fill in the 3 boxes below to show what each part of the flag means. What does this symbol mean? Do you remember what it's called? It's called the Union Flag or Union Jack. Then we have this group of stars here. I'm not going to tell you what they are. And then this one star here. You can only see this group of stars in what hemisphere though? The northern or southern hemisphere. And those are the tasks we have for today.
Excellent. So there's lots of work there for you to go on with in your booklets. And we're all hoping that Mr. Liko can join us again soon. And we will see you again back here, same time, same channel, tomorrow for your second last lesson for the week. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today. Take care. Bye. From Mr.
See ya.
Keegan and Miss Pam.
Hi, I'm Mr. Justin. Welcome back to another week at Yirara College. Last week we learned about identity and the things that make us who we are. You should be able to define the word identity, list the things that make up your identity, and identify some of the different identities that you may have. Can you do those things?
Who are you? What do you like to do? What makes you, you? Your identity, or who you are as a person, is made up of a whole range of different things. It can be made up of where you come from, your ethnicity, your religion, your language, what you like, your hobbies, your unique personality, and much more. When you have a strong sense of identity and feel confident about who you are more likely to have the courage and confidence to succeed. But how exactly do you have a strong sense of identity? Well, it's a combination of lots of things. Knowing who you are, what your values are, and being proud of all those things creates your identity. One way to learn more about yourself and your identity is to think about your values. Values are a group of characteristics, ideas or areas in life that are important to you. Some of your values could include honesty, generosity, good manners, determination, creativity, leadership, kindness, or loyalty. But of course, every single person is unique, which means everyone values things differently. Did you know that you can learn from others who have different values to you? It's a great opportunity to see the world from another person's perspective, which will help you stay open-minded. Here are some tips to help you recognise what you value and to feel good about your personal identity. Write a list of all the things you love. This will help you get in touch with your values. What types of books do you like to read? What subjects do you like in school? What motivates you? The answers to these might reveal a lot about your values. For example, if you really enjoy science at school, you might value curiosity and exploration. If you like team sports, you might value teamwork and cooperation. Maybe you can use this list to identify what your core values are and how they play a part in your everyday life. Get to know and celebrate your culture and language. Your culture and language are huge parts of who you are, and you should be proud of and celebrate them. Cultures and languages help to create the colourful world that we enjoy every day, so it's wonderful to share these things with others. The final tip is, don't be afraid to be you. The exciting thing about the world is that everyone is totally unique. There is only one you. Everybody has their own special traits and talents, and this is what makes our world so diverse and interesting. Just imagine if everyone was the same. What a boring world that would be. Even if you feel like you have traits that are negative or embarrassing, remember that it is just another part of how unique you are. and you shouldn't feel ashamed of them. So don't be afraid to be you, because nobody can do it better than, well, you. As you go through life, you'll experience new things and learn more about who you are, which will influence your identity. Some things will always be part of who you are, like your core values and your ethnicity. And some other parts of your identity may change with time, like your hobbies or relationships. But remember, the most important thing about identity is to stay true to yourself and your values, and be proud of who you are.
This week, we're learning about personal qualities. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain how personal qualities are linked to our identity, identify some of your own personal qualities, and reflect on whether your actions are in line with your personal qualities. Let's get started. Open your workbook and find the close exercise for this lesson. Read through the slide and fill in the missing words on your workbook. In your workbooklet, open up to the activity My Personal Qualities. Use this list for some ideas to help you list 5 of your own personal qualities. You can use qualities from this list, or you can use other things that you think of yourself. Once you've done this, I want you to think about 3 qualities that you like in someone else. This could be a friend, a family member, a famous sports person, an actor, or anyone else you can think of. I want you to think about why you admire those things in other people, and what could you do to develop those qualities for yourself. What actions could you take? What could you do differently or do better? What could you do more of or less of?
Welcome everybody, this is me and my brothers who just kicking back in the studio, and this is dedicated to my Yanyel and Garwa people. RTL and BLA, let's go! Keep on rocking, keep on rocking. Friends and family come together, one big mobbing cafeteria. Keep on rocking, keep on rocking. Friends and family come together, one big mobbing cafeteria.
LA is where I stand. I'm a hunter, I'm a man, I am proud of who I am. I'm proud of who I am. Robinson, we keep it real. My hometown, we do not steal. January, Garawa, speak the truth. Barefoot warrior, don't need no boots.
I'm not gaming, that's the truth. Come to my town to have a look. Big barramundies on the hook. Take it home for me to cook. I'm DK, I got something to say. From Robinson to BLA. Crazy fisherman from Savannah Way. Listen up, y'all, I got something to say. Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mobbing carpinteria. Keep on rocking. Keep on rocking. Friends and family come together. One big mobbing carpinteria. Riding around with the motorbike. Ain't going home till I do the.
Good morning.
Hey, hey, getting closer every day.
Welcome back to Yirara.
Hi and welcome to Year 9 Learning Online. This is Miss Elizabeth and I teach in Year 9 and Year 10. Firstly, thank you very much again for showing up today. You are taking a marvellous step to getting a good education simply by tuning in right now. We've been looking at some patterns this term and already they are starting to look quite interesting and we are using them to solve tricky maths problems. Today we're going to put all that together and try to fill in our tables grid. So let's get started. These online lessons are a bit unusual. If you go to the Yirara College website and click on Information, then you can find our maths book, Year 9 Maths. You do need to click 2 times. And if the clinic or school will help out, they may print the book for you. Let's check out Year 9 Maths today. Thank you for tuning in. Our outline for today is just the do part, using patterns for the table grid, and of course we can ask questions at the end. Let's listen and watch. A few lessons ago we had a look at the tables grid and we realised that it was really just a series of jumps that we would look at. So this little sign up here, the X, we are going to call it jumps. And when we go to the hundreds board, this is what we will look at, jumps. Let's get started. We start at 5 and we will take 5 jumps to get to the next number. Let's start at 5. 10. 1 over the line. 2, 3, 4, 5. Well done. And another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. We are making groups of 5 jumps and marking where each group of 5 jumps finishes. 30. And over the line. 35, good work. Well done. So as we make our groups of 5 jumps, you can see a pattern forming on the hundreds board. This is patterns in numbers. This is great. Good work. Now let's write these down as 5, 10, 15, 20, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Great work. And we can see that the next group of jumps are in jumps of 2. Let's start with 2. Well done. 4, 6, good work. 8, 10, very good. 14, 1, 2 to 16, to 18, 1, 2 to 20. Let's write these numbers down. 16, 18 and 20. Great. Let's look at this pattern for 1. Yes, that's right. Just write 1 to 10 like this. Awesome. Now let's look at the 10s. So it's 10 jumps. Well done. To 20. Over the line. Good work. To 30. And over the line to, yes, you know, yes, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Let's copy these over. Great work. Let's look at 3. So start with 3, and they are groups of 3 jumps. 15, 18, 21, 24. Well done. You really have got the idea now. And so copy these numbers over onto our grid. Good work. Let's look at 4. Yes, groups of 4 jumps. And we're marking the number at the end of each group of 4 jumps. That is wonderful. 36 and 40. Good work. Well done. 36 and 40. Let's look at 6. So again we have groups of 6 jumps. See if you can pick the number before we get to it. 12, yes. Nice. 18. Good. 24. 30. 36. 42. Yes, 48. 54, nice, and 60. Well done. So let's copy these over onto the tables grid. Very good indeed. These patterns are not as tricky as we thought they might be. Let's carry on with the 7. Very good. If you already know the pattern, you can carry on without waiting. And you can also do this at home for all sorts of patterns that aren't mentioned here. Maybe for 11 or 12. You might even try 15. Good work. And 70. Very nice. Now 9. Remember to start at 9 and count in groups of 9. Good work. Very nice. Line and 90. Very good. So we write these into the spaces. Lovely. The last one is for 8. So start at 8 and count on. Remember not to include 8, but count on. Yes. If you're unsure, go back and have a look at the video again to make sure that we get the right patterns. Well done. Awesome work. That is great work today. Let's check our progress for the day. So we had to do and to use patterns.
Well done. If there are any problems, ask someone. Or once we get our links all fixed up, then you'll be able to write a note in and we can follow up again. Best thing to do, if possible, go back onto YouTube or Facebook later on and watch it over so that you can get that pattern well in your head.
Well done. Stay safe, stay strong,
and see you next time.
Welcome to IL. We are so pleased that you're here. I'm Miss Mandy, one of the Year 9 homeroom teachers, and for today's lesson, we're going to read a few sentences, we're going to listen to Ruben talk about bush tucker, and then we're going to look at page 13 in the workbook. Let's get going.
Now, all through the arid regions, basically from Western Australia right over to Queensland, there's a very common one that a lot of Aussies do know this one. It's commonly called old man saltbush. And there's a reason for this. I'm going to get this young lady here to try it. And what you're going to notice when you do actually try this, very salty. Old man saltbush.
Yeah.
Or not so salty this one, ma'am. I'll get them a lot saltier. Folks, this tree here, it's all around Alice Springs. I've had a lot of tourists going, Ruben, I saw this in the McDonald Range. We didn't know whether to eat it. They should have, because this is basically the native plum. One plum, and I've got some here for you to show you, one plum is packed with vitamin C. Vitamin C. Unfortunately, I can't show you what it would look like at the end, but what I'm going to show you here is basically it starts off green like that, little fruit like that one there, and then it'll go into a phase of green into this dark purple, black. Then the whole fruit is covered like that. And you can either bite it straight off the tree, you can just let them dry out and then chuck them in water to rehydrate them and go for it. But I saw two traditional people, elderly people, they had a coolaman and the lady was just crushing, get the seed, crush it, till it was a liquid form. And then they just drank it straight out. So vitamin C.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's the native plum packed with vitamin C.
So can you try this yet or not till it's all black?
Probably eat if you wanted to try anything, just try that top bit.
Yeah.
And that's the only bit you could, because the green bit's just not going to really give you a flavour. But ma'am, what I'll try to do when we walk down further, I'll actually show you the tree full of fruits. Fruiting. And then my ruby saltbush. They're just not fruiting though. You've got little fruits on it, little tiny ones. These little fruits get a lot bigger and they end up pink, purple, no not purple, more red, and basically yellow. Ruby saltbush. Ruby, not that we just had old man saltbush. This is ruby saltbush. I get a lot of tourists tell me that it's through the Flinders Ranges, heaps of it. And it's a little fruit that produces. See, unfortunately, we've come today, but we had good rain a couple of days ago. It won't be for one more week. This would have been booming, different colours. So maybe we can come back and photo, and maybe if you're walking around too, around town, these will start fruiting now. Yeah. They're everywhere. Ruby saltbush. Yellows, pinks, red, orangey colours. So yeah, ruby saltbush. And you can just eat the little fruits. I've got heaps of little fruits on there, but nothing that's actually ripe.
Hello and welcome back Year 9s to your IL booklet. We're on page 13 as you can see. If you've been joining us every day and writing out in your booklets, well done, thank you, fantastic work. That's a great choice for your learning. If you've only just joined us today, well done, thank you for being here. You are making a great choice for your learning as well. All this time we've been talking about bush tucker plants. What plants can I find to eat out bush? That's the first question. How do I cook them? And how do they taste? In your booklet you should have that page and this page in front of you both together, because this page is giving us some helpful words to describe taste and to describe cooking. Now, you know a lot more about bush tucker than I do, and I'm sure you've tasted many more plants and fruits and vegetables than I have. Today, I'm going to think about the bush passion fruit. What plants can I find to eat out bush? Now, your list might be different from mine because I've only really looked at Alice Springs plants. So you list what you can find. So I've seen bush tomatoes, bush oranges, and bush passion fruit. What else? I can find bush bananas and bush coconuts. Oh, let's spell that right. Bush coconuts. Full stop. Snotty gobble is my favourite. So as you can see, I've written I can find bush tomatoes, bush oranges and passion fruit. I can find bush bananas and bush coconuts. Snotty gobble is my favourite. I think I just like saying snotty gobble. Now, let's go back to this page because the next question is, how do I cook them? So, for the bush passion fruit, when I went out with Ruben, he told me that I could eat that fresh, that I did not need to cook it. But what plants might you need to cook? Maybe there's something that you grill or fry. Is there something that you put in the hot coals? Do you have to stir anything or slice it? I'm going to get the yellow and say I can eat it fresh. I can slice open the skin, and then I can pull out the seeds and put them on a salad. But maybe yours is different. Maybe yours, you have to smoke it for a long time on the fire or on the hot coals. There's so many words here that you can use, or you can pick your own. Let's go back to this page. How do I cook them? So what was I going to say? When I had bush passion fruit, I sliced open the skin and pulled out the seeds. Full stop. I could put it on a salad and eat it fresh. Okay, so I've said when I had bush passion fruit, I sliced open the skin and pulled out the seeds. I could put it on a salad and eat it fresh. You have a think now. What would you write? One of your favourite plants. How would you cook it? Or how have you seen your mum or your nana or your auntie or whoever does the cooking? How do they cook it? So the next question is, how do they taste? Now, bush passion fruit had a really strong taste. To be honest, it nearly burnt my mouth. It was peppery, spicy and strong. Now, the older the fruit got, the longer it was on the bush, it became more mild and maybe even more peppery rather than being spicy. It wasn't as strong. But when I had the snotty gobble, that was sweet. What have you eaten and how does it taste? Have a think of these words. Is it bitter, burnt, buttery, creamy, firm, fresh, mild? Does it taste really plain? Do you eat it raw? Is it refreshing? Is it ripe? Is it rubbery or salty? So I'm going to write bush passion fruit nearly burnt my mouth. It is very spicy and strong. I really liked it, but I couldn't eat too much. Just a little bit. Okay, let's have a look. I've said bush passion fruit nearly burnt my mouth. It is very spicy and strong. I really liked it, but I couldn't eat too much, just a little bit. So now it's your turn. Page 13 in the book, and I want you to answer these 3 questions. I'm sure you're going to do a great job. Well done, off you go.
Hi everyone, welcome to the art lesson for this week. The task that I've set in your workbook is to draw a self-portrait with sunglasses. So I'm just going to show you what that might look like. This is an example of a finished product, and the way that I've asked you to do that, I've given you a few options. The first one is following a step-by-step guide. So we're not all good at drawing, and if you're not confident with your drawing, then you can follow this step-by-step guide. The second way that I would do it, and the way that I'm going to do it, is by using a photo. So I printed out a photo of myself with sunglasses, and I use this to do my drawing. The way I start is by drawing the sunglasses first, and then I build my face around the sunglasses. So the last thing that you'll need, because you might have noticed that there is a picture in the reflection or in the frame of the sunglasses. So what I've done is I printed off a picture that I can use to draw the picture in the sunglasses. So let's make a start.
To my brothers out there that's struggling, hustling.
Good morning.
Welcome back to Yirara.
Good afternoon, all you wonderful people out there. And I am back. As you can see, I am doing numeracy today, tomorrow, and Friday. For the next 3 days, you'll be seeing my face for numeracy. High five to all of you that's here. Excellent. Now, today, we're going to start looking at budgeting. What's that? I have no idea. I don't know. I started doing it when I was working. I never did it anywhere before, and only when I got to Australia. Nowhere before did I do budgeting. To help us with budgeting today and answer the questions of how, why, when, and what it is, we're going to look at Jeannie. Now, Jeannie just started working at the council, and she's earning $350 per week. She has certain expenses, which is groceries $50, rent $50, power $10, internet, phone credit, toiletries, lunches, smartphones. All of those expenses are there. And her question is, what do I need to do? Why do I need to budget? Can't I just spend my money however I want to? Well, Jeannie, the answer is sadly no. Because you have to spend according to what you earn. So let us see why we need to budget. One, we budget because it allows us to keep control over our money. So we know what's going in, what's coming out, what's going out, what's coming in, all of those things. We make sure our money isn't wasted or spent on frivolous things or things that we don't really need. Oh, that looks nice. I think I'm going to buy that. You get into that trap too. Thirdly, it helps people to save. So I think if I had started saving when I started working 30 years ago, I most probably would have been in a much better space. It helps us to monitor our spending habits, and it helps us to stay out of debt. Right. Now, there are 3 budgeting ways. Right? There are 3 methods of budgeting. Let's look at the next slide, Miss Tina. Thank you very much. 3 budgeting methods. Now, I'm going to call on Mr. Dave to come and assist us, or come and assist me in the first one and the second one. So the first one we're going to look at, Mr. Dave, oh yes, I need my mask, is the cash envelope method. What does that mean? Well, we have our money, so we take all our earnings out of the bank. There it is. And then we have all the envelopes that we have to put it in. So remember, Jeannie has a smartphone, she's got housing, groceries, toiletries, and lunch. So we are going to look at how much she's earning or how much she needs to spend for everything. There's the amount, all written there, and Mr. Dave and I are going to put them all in. Which one do you want to start with, Mr. Dave?
No, let's go groceries.
Right, you do groceries, I do housing.
$50. It's going to cost $50 to buy groceries for the week.
And I need to pay $50 for the rent. So we put that in there. Right. What else do we need? Let's see. Utilities. We have power, internet, and the phone credit. That all adds up to $30. Let's get $30. We have a 20 and a 10, and that is our $30.
All right, lunch. Lunch is going to cost us $50. We're going to buy lunches, and we're going to spend the $50 on lunches throughout the week.
All right. So we bought our smartphone from, and we owe that. We owe $50 per week on that one. And I think last but not least, Mr. Dave.
Janie is going to go and buy some toiletries and stuff she needs for her bathroom. So it's $15 into the toiletry envelope.
Wow, look at that. Jenny still has money left over. So let's see what she can do with that money. Now we're going to get to our second form of budgeting, which is what they call the 50-30-20 method. Now, to help you with this, we have got our table. Right. So, there we go. We have 50% on our needs, everything that we need. So food, rent, all those things, they go onto our needs. Then we have our wants, our shopping, our dining, and our hobbies. And then we have our savings. So, Mr. Dave, we have got some stuff there. If you can help us with that one.
Sure.
Jeannie's lunches. Where do you think that's going to go? Under the wants.
Yeah, wants.
Wants. Those are lunches, because she could make lunches at home. She does not have to spend money. We have our phone bills. So, where do you think that's going to go?
Needs.
Definitely needs. Nowadays, you need a phone.
Yep.
Wi-Fi.
Needs.
Needs. Groceries.
Needs.
Definitely, sir. Rent.
Oh, you have to live somewhere. So
Live somewhere.
That's one.
Power.
Needs.
Needs.
You need to have the lights on.
Oops. Smartphone.
Needs.
Needs.
Cosmetics.
Wants. Cosmetics.
Yeah.
Wants.
Can spend it sometimes.
Toiletries.
Oh, that's a need.
That's a need. And what about that?
Well, we can put some of that money into the savings.
Excellent. So we're
savings
going to take the rest of Jeannie's money and we're going to put it into savings. So that is the second way we can budget. Thank you, Mr. Dave,
No worries.
for helping out.
No worries.
So now we can talk again properly. So the last method we're going to look at is our traditional budgeting method. And in your workbook, it looks like, let's just move these ones away from here. And in our workbook, we see there Jenny's budget right there. And that is our traditional budget. We have Jenny's expenses right there. It shows us how much she earns, everything that we've worked on so far. And your job for today is to take what she earns, put it over here, and work out how much she is spending. Now, there's good and bad on all of the ones. Envelope method, you can lose some money. Budgeting like this, that is also good. Right, let's hope you have some fun doing the traditional budget. Now, we have a very tech-savvy, smart millennial in our midst in the name of Mr. Matthew. And he did for us a screen save of what you can do with your smartphone. Because you know what? You can do your budget on the smartphone as well. Let's have a look at what Mr. Matthew has in store for us.
Good morning, seniors. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. So today we're going to be making a budget. We're going to choose a template and work from there. So the way this template is worked out is on the left-hand side, we have our weekly income and our expenses. Our expenses are things that we spend on a weekly basis. That might be food, it might be rent, various things. It changes on the person, but sometimes there are things that stay consistent among different people. And as we go along changing these categories, you will see our little graph here will change the percentage of each category based upon what we're spending. So let's go through this. First of all, we have our paycheck. What do we get per week? This could be from Woolworths, Coles, an apprenticeship, whatever. Then we have housing. This is your rent that you pay to stay where you live. Put aside $50 for that. Groceries, this is the food that you eat at home. We also put aside $50. And now your smartphone. Your smartphone can be paying off a phone for a contract. You could be paying a phone bill. It can be various things. But we've also put aside $50 for that. And if you see on the pie graph, these percentages will be displayed. A 12%, 12%, and a 12%. So utilities are things like power, water, your internet. That covers your utilities. And for that, we're going to put $30 a week. You often don't spend too much on that, especially if you're living by yourself. The next thing is lunch. Sometimes when you're working, you want to buy lunch at work. So we're going to set aside $50 a week as your budget to buy lunch at work. And the next thing is toiletries. Self-explanatory, toilet paper, cleaning supplies for yourself, all that sort of stuff. And for this, we're just going to set aside $15. Often don't need too much. And now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to name the budget. It can be Matt's budget, it can be Bob's budget, whatever you would like. And this is a finished product. You have your percentages spread out over, and you have your remainder down the bottom, money left over. Now, this money is often used in savings, and I would encourage everyone to always focus on their savings. All right, have a good one.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little clip on how to do a budget on your phone, and I hope you have a good time listening next to Miss Andrea in our IL section. TTFN, tata for now. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
afternoon, everyone. So I'm here with Integrated Learning, and we've been talking about careers, workplaces, and today in particular, we're going to talk about workplace health and safety. Now, this is really important because when you go to work, you certainly don't want to injure yourself. The definition of workplace health and safety, which is usually shortened to WHS, is it involves the management of risks to the health and safety of everyone in your workplace. So risks, that word means something could possibly go wrong, and safety, well, that's avoiding it. The next slide will show you all of the signs you'll possibly see around in your workplace. Exit signs, first aid kits, where the wheelchair ramp is, fire extinguisher and wet floors. Mr. Dave and I thought we'd use Yirara to show you examples of this, so we're going to watch a quick video. Thank you. Hi everyone. This week we're talking about working and workplace health and safety as the lesson today. So we're looking at the first day of work and how when you come into a workplace like Yirara College, you should identify where the important equipment is and how to use it. So Mr. Dave and I are going to walk around and locate all of these workplace health and safety equipment.
Hello everyone, I'm here in the admin building in the corridor, and I've found the fire extinguisher. In case of a fire, you use this and you quickly try and put out the fire.
Okay, so here's the exit sign, and Mr. Dave was just talking about fires. If there's a fire, you really need to know where to go outside to an open place. These signs are really good because even if it's smoky, they will stay alight because they have batteries in them.
Alright, so I'm in the kitchen and there's been a lot of water spilt on the floor. So I've gone and I've cleaned it up, mopped it up, and now I have to put out the wet floor sign. So workplace health and safety means I need to put out this sign to make sure no one slips over.
Hi everyone, we're still walking around. A really important thing is to find out where your first aid kit is in an emergency. We've come in here to the main office, we've found a first aid kit and a snake bite kit. That'll be good, especially out here. Wow, and some of you may have asthma. We've also got an asthma kit here. All right, let's go to the next spot.
Is this electrical cord safe? It's looking a bit old, but it looks good, so we're just going to keep an eye on it.
I'm in the science lab. This is where we store the chemicals. In here we keep the chemicals in a nice ordered fashion on the shelves up high. No chance of spilling on the floor and causing a safety hazard.
Did you enjoy that? We had fun making it. Now Dave, he really liked the fire extinguisher, and we always see them around, but often we've got no idea how to work them. So Dave's just going to talk you through that.
You just saw me making sure I knew where the fire extinguisher was in the admin building. It's always a good idea to know where they are located. The extinguishers don't last forever, they last about 10 years. Maintenance staff come to check it's in working order. A tag is on the fire extinguisher to show when it needs to be checked. 95% of fires can be put out safely if a fire extinguisher is used correctly and straight away. To use them effectively, the fire department teaches the PASS method, P-A-S-S. By learning PASS, you'll be better able to remember how to put out the fire. You're going to pull the pin at the top of the extinguisher. You're going to aim the nozzle towards the base of the fire. You're going to squeeze the handle to discharge the extinguisher, and you're going to sweep the nozzle side to side, aiming at the base of the fire. Thank you, Ms. Andrew.
Thanks, Dave. I'll call you if we ever have a fire. Excellent. So now, we did explain it a little bit in the video, but I'm going to go over a few points because this is what you're being asked on your worksheet. I only want you to do a few of the questions today. And first, we're looking at the exit sign. Thank you. Which must be clearly visible above or beside each door to lead out to the road or open space. The emergency lighting and the exit signs have an internal battery that works even when the mains power is out, so that's reassuring to know. The caution sign to show the floor is wet helps us. Don't fall over, that's what it's telling you, because if you slip onto a hard surface, you can break your hand, arm, cut yourself, or even hit your head and go unconscious. So the next two slides, we will look at these more closely tomorrow and answer these questions then. So there's one about the first aid box. Your question is, what is it and why it is important? Tomorrow I'm going to show you some sentence starters and how to answer those correctly in detail. Is this electrical plug safe? Why is it important to report this and have it fixed? In the video, Dave was weighing up whether to report that or not, and that's a decision you have to make as a worker. The next slide shows you the last two questions. One about poisons, and Kieran was showing you how he kept all of his poisons up off the floor, but he didn't mention why it is important to have the signs and labels on that, and especially up off the floor, not so much that they might spill, but you must keep poisons away from young children. It is terrible if they get poisoned, and if you're in remote, it's a long way to a hospital or a doctor. The last one, that man, where's he working? He's in a butcher. Now, why do you think he's got an apron on? Obvious, to keep the blood off. And why do you think he's got metal gloves on? Because when you're a butcher, the knives are just so sharp that you can easily cut an artery, which means a vein in your arm, or cut a finger off, simple as that. Now we're going to look at an example of accidents for young workers who have just started apprenticeships. A graph is a good way of looking at facts and data. So the highest one there is a hand injury. Now, these workers are mechanics and they're first and second year apprentices. So do you think you have more accidents when you start a job because you're not used to it? I think so. The second injury they're having is head injury. So if they're a mechanic, maybe they're lying underneath the car and they're bumping their heads. And then the last one, or the next highest one, is back. So I would imagine they're carrying heavy toolboxes, maybe trying to get cars onto jacks. I don't know how they hurt their backs, but they do. The next graph shows you the percentage of workers who hurt themselves in their first 4 years. So the first year apprentices, the first year workers, are shown in the green. So out there in their first year, they really just kept on hurting themselves. Second year, less injuries in the red. Third year, they were looking and concentrating on what they're doing in the yellow. And the fourth year in the blue, hardly any accidents. So they knew their job and they were keeping steady and careful. So the next slide shows you an inspection checklist for the mechanics and in their workplace, like a garage. But I thought it'd be a better idea if Dave and I looked at an inspection checklist we might use at Yirara. Oh, Dave, I'll put my mask on, seeing we're a little bit close. So, is that in the right place? There's a lot of things we can look at, but the first one for working at Yirara and checking the classrooms would be that the floors, walkways and entrances and exits are free from obstruction. That means there's nothing on the floor, so if we have an alarm, and we do have them here at school, we've had lots of practices, there's no chairs and tables there. We can all get up and walk out. So I'd give Yirara a good 5 for that. It's nice and clear.
Okay, we've got here lighting levels are accurate, exits and entries are free from hazards. I spent a lot of time here and I'm pretty sure that that's all good, so I'm going to give that a 5, miss.
Good. All right. Now, classroom tables and chairs are at appropriate heights. That means we haven't got you crammed into little tiny tables and big chairs. They need to match. So I'd say thanks, Yirara, you've done a good job of that. What about the condition of the roofs, ceilings, walls and floors, doors? Good. Our windows lock? Good. Next one.
We have here, trees are maintained and there's precautions from falling trees and branches. The maintenance crew do a good job, so I have to give them a 5 there. They're always making sure the trees are not dangerous for us here at Yirara College.
Okay, the fences around the school are in good condition, yes. Paths are smooth. We don't fall over. I've never seen anyone fall over. And the last little things, maintenance go out there and make sure the grass is cut, so there's no fires, no snakes. Good job, maintenance. We've got signs up around the school so no one's speeding. And the vehicles, we have parking, so there's no crashes with the buses. So Yirara passes their working environment checklist. Okay, everyone, thanks for listening. That's been wonderful to talk to you. The inspections identify the potential hazards and dangers, and we know that we'll be safe and know where everything is and how to use it. Over and out.
Everyone, welcome back to Yirara2U Science. Today we're going to be conducting our first experiment where we're going to look at the evaporation rates of water on socks. Now, before we can do an experiment, we need to talk about something called the scientific method. Now, this method is a series of 6 steps that enables you to do an experiment successfully. And behind me, I've got the 6 steps up here, which you'll find in your workbooks, week 3, page 2. We've got observation. Do you remember what that is? That's looking at something closely. Then we've got problem. What is it we're trying to work out today? Well, the problem is we want to see whether socks dry faster in the sun outside or inside on the benches. Hypothesis. What does that word mean? Well, if you saw the episode last week, you would have seen me talking about hypothesis means making a prediction. For example, last week I took a bit of extra care driving to work because I saw there was rain up in the sky, rain clouds, and I took my umbrella. So I made that prediction that it was going to be wet on the roads and I needed to take extra care. Then we actually do the experiment. Now, when we're conducting our experiment, we need to wear our PPE safety gear. I've got my goggles, I've got my jacket on, and I've got my hard rubber-soled shoes, as you can see, ready to perform the experiment safely. Then after we do the experiment, we need to record our results using our notepad. We need to write down what we saw closely with our eyes during our observation. Then we've got our conclusion. So what is a conclusion? Well, basically it sums up what you've learnt. For example, I learnt I should keep my umbrella in the car more often on rainy days. Alright, now that we've talked about the 6 different steps, let's get to the experiment. Fun part. Alright, so in front of me I've got my materials that I'm going to need to conduct this experiment. I've got a pen to write my notes with. I've got a notebook to record my observations. I've got a magnifying glass which I do my careful observation. Actually, you don't really need a magnifying glass. We're going to do this one more through feel. I just thought I'd include it to remind you about step 1, the most important step, observe. If you remember the magnifying glass, you'll think, I need to make an observation. I need to think, what am I doing? I've got 2 socks. Now these socks are both identical, meaning one is the same as the other. Very important that their 2 socks are exactly the same so that you can make a valid... so you can compare accurately between the 2 different subjects. So we got one sock and we got another sock. Now this sock's going to be left inside the lab and this sock's going to go outside in the sun. And we're going to see which one evaporates faster with water. Now I've got a clock. Remember in the experiment, in the directions, it tells you to go and make an observation either on the hour, start our experiment right on the hour at 9 o'clock. You can go every half hour, go uphill, check using our touch, our seeing senses, and our feeling That was exhausting. All right, so now I've got in front of me one wet sock that was inside the lab the whole time for the 2.5 hours, and one dry sock, which feels light and airy. This one, I wouldn't want to wear this because you'll get waterlogged shoes. All right, so conclusion. Which one dried faster? The one out in the sun. Why did the one in the sun dry faster? Well, the sun creates what we call thermal heat, which enabled the water to evaporate into the atmosphere. Whereas the one inside, the wet sock, is still fully saturated because there's no sun in here, and obviously eventually it would dry, but it'll probably take 2 or 3 days. So that's why we put our washing outside in the sun to dry. Well, let's think, what can I do now? What can I measure? Well, I measured whether the sun dries things faster. Now I'm going to see whether it dries quicker on the concrete or on the roof. So, let's go over to our bench. First of all, we need to write down our observation. I observed that socks dry faster in the sun than inside a room. Alright. Now, to get my control subjects, like I did before, I need to first of all fully submerge the socks. Alright, now they're both fully submerged. They're saturated. Now I'm just making another observation. The sock that was inside is actually now heavier than 2.5 hours ago when I started the experiment, which indicates that there was some evaporation, but not quite as much as the one outside. And what we're going to do is we're going to measure which sock dries quicker. So we're going to put one on the concrete and one on the roof. And the other sock is going on the roof. Get up there to do my measurements. Well, I called maintenance and they were really annoyed and thought it was rather stupid what I did, but they're going to come down with a ladder in exactly 10 minutes and then I can start doing my second experiment and I'll give you the results next week. So while you're waiting for the results, why don't you think about an experiment you can do with the socks? Maybe test if it dries quicker inside a container or inside a room. Just come up with your own version of it. Modify it slightly and yeah, see what you can do. Because science is all about questioning and exploring the unknown. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
You ain't.
Good morning. Welcome back to Yirara.
Hello Senior School, welcome to another day of online learning with the Year 11 and 12s. We are going to start with our integrated learning. Yesterday we looked at the cost of a cigarette. So first of all we're going to look at an app on our iPad to see another way we can find out the costs of cigarettes. So I'm going to come and just show you which page we are at the booklet. All right. So we're going to have a look, here we go, this is sort of the theme, Stop Burning Your Money. And we're going to have a look at this Quit website, which we have set up on an iPad to show you another way of calculating the costs. Just unlocking the iPad. All right, so I will swap these over. Here we have, it's on quit.org and it's called Cost of Smoking. Can that be seen all right there? Yep, great. Okay, so we actually have a little scenario here that we've pre-prepared and we're going to put it into the website and you can have a look what happens. So we've got here how many cigarettes in a pack? 25. So what you do is you move this to 25. How am I going to go here? There. Perfect. Okay. How much is the cost of the pack? It's $42. So we're going to move this up. Up we go. 42. There. Beautiful. Okay. Now, in this scenario, we've got how many a day? 5. So we're going to move that from 1 to 5 cigarettes. Whoa, that moves pretty quickly. There. And then in this scenario, the person has been smoking for 3 years. So we're going to move this up to 3 years. Oops. Boom, there we go. Okay, now these are the statistics here. And it says that is a whopping 5,475 cigarettes. They've spent $9,198 and is this how many days they've smoked? 1,095 days. And they've inhaled 15 grams of tar. And tar is what we use for the road, so that's a bit gross. Now, this is just a summary. If you quit smoking today, if this person was to quit smoking, they will gain $3,066 a year. And here are some ideas. This is what you could do with the extra money. I won't read them all, but you could get a pamper session at the salon. Get your nails done. You could pay off your credit card, night out with friends, new bike, tickets to the AFL Grand Final, etc. So many things you could do with that. So that's just another way you can look up what you're spending on cigarettes. Quit.org. All right, now we're going to have a look at what is actually in a cigarette. I'm going to cross over to a PowerPoint. Now, here we have there's a lot of information about all these things. Now, in a cigarette, there's more than 4,000 chemicals. But here, we're just looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of those chemicals. And we're going to go across to the board now and just simplify where you might find these chemicals in other areas of life. Okay, so first nicotine, and that's very addictive. Okay, so nicotine is in a cigarette and it's very addictive. That's in the tobacco. That's that one there. Thanks for your help, Tiff. It's just all right, next one is tar, coal, engine and exhaust fumes. They go into a cigarette. Boom, right there. This one, arsenic. It's a toxic metal. That's in a cigarette. This one, acetone. It's nail polish remover. It's used for that. And some paint thinning, and that goes in. Lead is also in a cigarette, and that's a toxic metal. Straight in. They're tiny, but they've got a lot of chemicals. This one here is a chemical that is used for preserving dead bodies. Pretty gross. Yeah, that's going into your body too. We've got a few more. This one here is a paint thinner. That goes up there. Next one. This is a chemical used so that more nicotine goes into your body. So it's already very addictive and more of it goes into your body. This one here is used in batteries, goes straight into your breathing. Just going to be a bit COVID safe and put my mask on. Okay, 3 more to go. This one here, lighter fuel. That goes straight into your body. This one, ammonia, is used in cleaning products. So this is in a cigarette. And the last one, this is found in oil that's used for fuels, like for your car. And that goes into a cigarette too. This is just a few of the chemicals out of over 4,000. Now, even though they're only in little amounts, the more you smoke over and over and over again, the more it goes into your body and stays there. And that's why we get sick and have a lot of problems when you smoke. So I'm just going to come and have a look at our workbook now to show you what you are required to do. For this bit, you've got your picture on this side, and you're just going to write down 10 things that are found in a cigarette, and you can, some of them are really tricky wording, but you can copy them straight off and put them on your list here. Just to finish off, we're going to make a list now of what we should be putting into our bodies. Tiff and I are just going to think of as many things as we can that are supposed to go into our bodies rather than those chemicals. Okay, all right, I'll go first. Let's go 1, water. What's another thing, Tiff? Fruit. Fruit is a good one. I'm going to keep with that theme and I'm going to go vegetables. Vegetables. Good, there we go. Right, what's your next one, Tiff? I think fitness is really good for our body. Fitness. So that's doing a bit of running, sport, all that. What else is good for our bodies? Good clean oxygen. Oh, oxygen. Nice one. Oxygen. I guess sleep is good. We have to do it every day, so. Can you think of anything else?
I think that's a pretty good list, Michelle.
Yeah.
It's a great start.
So that's a bit of a comparison. This is what is going into your body when you're smoking. This is what we need to do more of to help our bodies. Okay, that's all we're going to do today for integrated learning. Tomorrow we are going to look at an interview with someone who's actually given up smoking. So it'll be really interesting to hear what they have to say. But now we're going to cross over to maths. See you soon. Year 11 and 12s, and we're doing our maths again. This is our workbook here, data and graphs. Today we're having a look at what median means. Not medium, median. And this is the page we'll be looking at, but we're going to give you our own examples so that it might be a bit easier to understand. So, up on the board here, I've got a bit of an explanation on median. Now, the median of a set of data is the middle value of a series of numbers. It is the number that separates the higher data from the lower data. So you can see in this picture, this is the lower half, this is the higher, and that's the median of the data. Here are some other words, centre and middle. They're just other words from medium. This is what we have to do. First of all, we have to order the numbers we're looking at, the data, from smallest to largest. And I'm going to do an example. This is already ordered, just to save time. The second thing we do is to find the middle number by crossing off each number on both sides. Then the number in the middle is the median amount in the data set. So, to explain that, I'm going to get this pencil and I'm just going to start crossing it off. There's one. That's in the lower set, higher set. Lower set, higher set. Lower set, higher set. We're left with 1. So the median of this data set is 32. Okay? Now, we're going to do a little example of our own data, and the data we're going to do is about shooting hoops in a basketball ring. So, we've started, and we've actually got some people to have a try at this off of the live streaming. We had Dan, he had some shots. Out of 10 shots, he got 7 in. Mr. Shane, he got 5 shots in out of 10. Miss Andrea, she got 3 out of 10. Dave got 4 out of 10. And Tiffany got 1 out of 10. Now, little secret, I got 0 out of 10. But I don't know, if we have time I might be able to fix that. I don't know. But we also have 2 other guests coming on to try out their basketball skills. They will have 10 shots. And the first one to do it is Mr. Tyson. So I'm going to tell him where to stand. And he's going to take some shots. 10 shots. Let's see how many he can get in. Hello, Mr. Tyson.
Hello. Everybody.
Should I stand here? Is this off-putting? Okay. Now you go. I can get the ball. All right, here we go. Shot number 1. Oops. Okay, 2 shots.
This is rigged.
Oh, he's got 1 in. Should we tally it here, Emily? 1, okay. He's got 2 shots in. Oh, is that 3 shots?
Yes, sir.
Another one.
Yes, ma'am.
4 shots in. Tyson. How many has he got left?
Oh, 5, 8.
He's got 3 more. We've got some helpers. Okay, here we go. Oh, the NBA is about to call up. Oh, maybe not. They've hung up. Thank you, Mr. Tyson. He got 4 of his shots in out of 10. Next up, we have Mr. Keegan. Come on down. Oh, hello. Hey. 10 shots. Here we go. 1. Oops. He's got 2 shots in. All right, he's got 3 shots in, he's halfway. So you can take your time, Keegan, that's okay. If you're missing. Okay, maybe speed it up. He's got 2 to go. Come on, let's finish it off, Keegs. Oh, anyway, thanks, Mr. Keegan. All right, so we've got a bit more data here. Next one up is Miss Emily. She's going to have a go. I'll do the data. We're going to work out what the median is for all of this data. Off you go, Emily. Woo! Bad luck. Yes, she's got one. Yeah.
How many have I got left?
2. You're halfway. There we go. You got 2 in. Oh. Ooh. Oh, well done. That's 3. Got one more. Okay, Emily got 3. Okay, so this is our data here now. Well done to everyone. It's all about having fun anyway, isn't it? So and we needed some data, so that's good. We'll keep mine at 0. I'm happy. It's fine. Probably would have got 10, but... All right, so this is our data here. We're going to write it up and then order it. So I'll write it up here. We got 7, 5, 3, 4, 1, 3, 0, 2 more, sorry, 4 and 3. All right, and then to order it, we just go through, look at the smallest number, we cross it off. So the smallest one here is me, 0. Chuck that in there. Right, the next one, we've got a number 1. We'll cross that off. Right, have we got any number 2s? Nope. How many number 3s we got? 1, 2, 3. That's our next biggest. 1, 2, 3. Next biggest is 4. Cross them off. 4, 4. What do we got left? Then we got a 5. And then we got a 7. All right. So now we've gone from smallest to largest. And we are now going to cross off the lower set and the higher set, and we'll do it together. How lovely. Okay. So I'm going 1. All right, and this is our middle. So our median for our basketball shots, oh, that's not how you spell that, like that, equals 3. That's how we find the median. One more little thing I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you on a piece of paper at the front for those on the cameras. All right, so we just did a median with 1 middle number, but if you have 2 middle numbers, this is what you have to do. I'll just get a texter ready. Pencil. All right, first of all, you have to order the numbers from smallest to largest. These ones are already done. Then you have to find the middle numbers by crossing off each number on both sides. So I'm going to do that. Yep, 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 yep. And we've got 2 left here. Then you have to find the mean, which we did yesterday, of these numbers by adding the numbers together and dividing by 2. So 5 plus 7 equals 12. Then we have to divide 12 by 2, or 12 divided by 2, which equals 6. So, can you see that all right? There's my 6. So the median of these middle 2 numbers is the number 6. All right. It's a bit tricky, but it's a start, and I hope that it helped by us showing you the basketball shots. I might do one more problem, and then we're going to go. So I'm going to swap this over. This is your worksheet here, the median worksheet, and I'm going to do this one here. I'll show you how to order the numbers and then find the middle or the median. Okay, first of all we have 30, 70, 60, 20, 30 and 60. The smallest is 20. Put that in first. Next one, 30, and we've got 2 of them, so I'm going to cross them both off and put them here. Okay, next one is 60. We've got 2 of them, so I'm going to chuck them in. 60 and 60. And then the last one is 70. So we put that one in there. I've ordered my numbers from smallest to highest. Now, I've just got to go along and cross off the smaller values and the higher values until I get into the middle. That one's done, that one's done. That one's done, that one's done. Now, I've got 2 in the middle here. So, I have to add them together and divide it by 2. So, 30 plus 60 equals 90. 90 divided by 2 equals, and I did this earlier, and I'm also very clever in my head, so I know that that is 45. Oh, I don't know what's going on with my handwriting. So the median of this set of numbers is 45. Okay. We'll leave it there for today. I hope that you got some understanding from that. And thank you to all the people that helped with their basketball shots. I'm sure we'll all be practicing now. And for today, we're going to say goodbye. Thanks for your help, Emily. And see you tomorrow. Bye.